Hey guys, this is day 145 of startup. So, what are the qualities that a founder or founding team needs to succeed? Well, I believe they need some coding skills, some people skills to handle their team, building team, knowing who can do what, bringing right people, attracting talent, motivating people. Maybe they need the skill to raise funds, to be able to sell their product, the sales skill, and probably they need time management. And you can think of like almost like he needs to be probably curious, like to read books, should be quickly able to understand things and solve problems. And this list can be like infinite, and it just seems like a founder or a founding team needs to be some kind of superheroes. But proposing I'm thinking about this, and I feel that everything can be broken down into two factors, two things that a founding team needs. One is a lot of insight. So insight will be something that the founder or the founding team knows is very valuable for a wide audience, but a lot of other people do not know. There's some uniqueness to it. There's the insight. And then the founding team needs a lot of will will to just do whatever is needed to bring that insight into the world, to realize that insight into a real tangible value that people can pay for and use. So yeah, these two factors, the will and the insight. Now, of course, a few days back, I made a video that the number one factor for startup success is luck. And I still believe that for the startup to succeed, yeah, you need a lot of luck, and a lot of times bad luck can just destroy your startup no matter the amount of will you have. For example, you might have built a healthcare or a telecom or a financial product, and a new government regulation comes that just makes it illegal or whatever, and that will just kill the product no matter how much will you had. So you have to start again. But overall, we are talking about the qualities in a founder, not in the world. So for a founder, I think the will and the insight are enough. So looking back, like earlier things we talked about, the time management, uh, that's all part of actually will, right? If you have will, then you will try to manage your time. You always know what's the right thing to do, and you will do that. And people, like people skills, they that also like can be offset so much by will. If you are willing to bend down, if you are willing to just let go of your ego, then people are so much easier to manage. Also, if you're willing to just hustle, get yourself out there, then you'll be able to raise funds or sell even if you are not that charming, because half of the game in selling is really about being persistent, being out there, reaching out to people, taking risks, taking rejection, and still going forward with enthusiasm, with energy. So, and what else we talked about? We talked about discipline. That's also part of well. And the other factor, insight, covers the other aspects like having curiosity, reading books. So you may not have insight to begin with, but as you go in the startup, as you go further along the startup, you should always try to, I mean, I should not use the word should, because you can find different paths to success, but this is my philosophy that I'm trying to follow, that I need to go deeper into just one problem or a limited domain, so that that allows me to read and learn everything about that domain. And when I'm already past learning everything that is out there in books, in YouTube, and then I am further trying to improve my performance, that is when the insights will start to come, things that will originate in my own mind from my own experience. And these will also be the things that only I will uniquely know. and it will be valuable. Well, some of them will be valuable as I test those ideas. They will probably give me results that probably give like 20%, 30% improvement. And these insights do not have to be one big insight, it can be just like 1,000 small insights that together give 3x 4x returns. So yeah, I think if I just focus on these two things, like do something to have more insight in the domain, talk to more customers, learn from them, try out new ideas. So yeah, do something to build more insight, and then do everything else to just make the startup successful. Just, and I think my intuition has been always, or anyone's intuition, like everybody knows from their inner voice what's the next big thing they need to do, and they just need to pick it up and do it. And for even for founders who are not technical, like we talked about the coding skill, if they have will, then how hard is it to learn coding? There's so many tutorials out there to learn. Yes, it may be a little bit slow, but you can do it. Also, a few more things I forgot to mention about insight. That insight can be there on the product side, on the technology side. Maybe you know some new way of solving a problem, or some new technology that you worked on, a new machine learning algorithm. That will be also an insight. And the insight can also be a understanding of the culture, a deeper understanding of the culture or the problem space, about like the user, like how he thinks and what kind of solution he likes, and some kind of a psychological gap. So for example, Facebook or Instagram could be those products that fit into that kind of insight, that we didn't knew that people need something like Facebook, a social network, but people needed, and it was possible to build, and that's how it became so popular. And this example also tells that insight can also be discovered by luck. It doesn't always have to be like you thought it out, or you worked it out over the years. And of course, usually the ideas, even if you are working on a problem for years, they just come out from somewhere from above. So they're actually always luck based. But I'm just saying that it can be like, oh yeah, 17-year-old guy just built something and it just became very popular, and then later people learn, oh, there was this insight into that particular factor that just made it succeed. And yeah, insight should also be feasible or realizable. Then only it's insight. You cannot just have some random insight and then it's not feasible on the technology side, or some technological thing that's not useful for people. So the insight, I would call it an insight only when it is feasible. It can be like thing that is valuable for people, and it can be produced. So yeah, these were some of the things that I've been thinking about. This video, I realized, was pretty unorganized. Things were moving back and forth between different points, but I think you get the point. Let me know what you think about the will and the insight in comments.